I was born in Israel, but during the 90s my parents moved to Moscow. In Israel, I felt more Russian. Everyone treated me like one. I didn't want anyone talking Russian to me. Then we came to Russia. I joined a Jewish school, and at first I didn't see any difference, but later I understood why my parents sent me to this school. I think I started being aware of it when I was in Moscow. When we lived in Israel, it was weird for me to follow one holiday, but not another one. While my friends did one thing, we did it differently. I thought it was wrong. But when we came here, I looked the most zealous one, as my family respected this holiday and that one too. I also learned more about the history, that in the Soviet Union and in general everywhere historically, Jews were prosecuted, and a lot of them denied their religion. So then I realized that I was proud of my family. About the age of 14, I went to an international Jewish summer camp for the first time, and I met a lot of people like me there. They came from different countries, from the USA, from Europe, and we suddenly all started singing in Hebrew. It often happens that many people who go there learn about being Jewish for the first time there, but I felt different from them. It suddenly arose from somewhere deep inside me, the things I knew from my childhood, some songs, some dances. It was so strong, I realized I could tell people things they didn't know yet. Often people of my age who were born here and whose parents still remember the history don't know they are Jewish because their parents are afraid to tell them. So those parents send them to these camps. Or they find out at school in the best case. In the worst case, they don't know at all. So they started asking me questions. I answered, and I liked it. I started going on different trips connected to Jewish history and Jewishness in general. I started taking part in different programs. It slowly became a part of my life, an important one. Now I work on these camps and accompany children there. Being Jewish and Judean are closely connected. If you say Jewish, it means being Hebrew, and vice versa. But it is not always connected to religion. It is a sort of self-awareness, knowledge of history. It is respect, and it is about community. It means being part of something, knowing what happens in the lives of Jews around the world as they live all around the world. I am an Ashkenazi. It means that my ancestors are from the Eastern Europe. My parents lived in Ukraine. There are also Gorski Jewish. They are different, and it is noticeable in Israel. But we all feel responsible for each other, and for each other's happiness too. I think that is what I am most proud of. The most important part is to pass it on to the next generation. You can do whatever you want in your life, but if you don't pass it to the next generation, it becomes pointless. I don't know how to explain it, but in my university, everyone knows that I am Jewish. They associate me with Jews. Some say, I'm happy that I have a Jewish friend. Sometimes I think people know nothing else about me besides me being Jewish. Of course, they ask a lot of questions. I know that there are so many stereotypes about Jews in Russia and everywhere. It irritates me so much, because they are wrong, and I try to fight it. I tell people everything I know. I think it is important to tell people who Jewish people truly are. Let me say some more about the stereotypes. I try to fight them, but when I happen to be in the company of other Jews and I think, gosh, if there was just one non-Jew here, he would have thought that all the stories about Jews are true. I mean, people joke about lots of things, but it sounds like they are almost true or actually true. Of course, it doesn't concern everyone, but there are some people that justify those stereotypes. Once we went to the synagogue, someone started inviting us to an event, and he started mentioning things that were going to be for free there. Over a few minutes, he mentioned it so many times, it was as if people weren't interested in anything unless it was free. Another thing is when I was in school, we were all from different communities, and sometimes students got into fights because of community disputes. Having someone from one community disliking others, I found it so weird, like we are all Jews and the school is for one ethnicity. So how are those disputes possible?
Национальная школа, и все равно у нас такие национальные терки. בשנה הבאה בירושלים. Это в следующем году в Иерусалиме.
Next year in Jerusalem. As I said, we have different holidays, so during Pesach, it is a custom to say that sentence in the evening because of the exodus from Egypt, which happened about 3,000 years ago. We remember this event every year and because every Jew dreams about going to Jerusalem. But this sentence became more about spiritual Jerusalem, and we speak about some kind of spiritual exodus from slavery.
С рабством в этот праздник.